Hi, you are about to engage in the guidebooks unit, the Louisiana Purchase. The purpose of this video is to learn about the history of the state of Louisiana and how it came to join the United States of America. Be sure to have your handout and something to write with while you watch this video. Louisiana is a state in the United States of America. It is known for Mardi Gras celebrations, especially in New Orleans, tall pine trees in the northern part of the state, the Louisiana State Capitol building in Baton Rouge, the Cajun food with unique spices like boiled crawfish, and the miles of bayous and swamps that crisscross the southern part of the state. When we study the Louisiana Purchase, we're going to be reading lots and lots about the history of Louisiana and how it became a part of the United States of America. Let's take a look at this map. It is a map of the United States of America in the year 1800. You can look at this map more closely in the book, The Louisiana Purchase, Would You Close the Deal, on page 4. The green territories show you what the United States looked like and how it was divided in the year 1800. The Louisiana Territory is in yellow on this map. Before the Louisiana Purchase, colonists were not allowed to venture out west past the Mississippi River. The tan areas of this map show the rest of the land in North America and how it was divided. Let's practice. What do you notice about this map? Pause the video and jot down some notes on your handout at the first stop sign. Push play when you are ready to continue. Let's review. You may have pointed out that in 1800, the Louisiana Territory was not a part of the United States. At this time, it was a big area of land owned by Spain, not the United States. Something else you may have noticed is that the United States did not stretch all the way across North America in 1800. States like Texas and California were not yet owned by the United States. Additionally, you may have noticed that Florida is also not yet part of the United States in 1800. This piece of land is referred to as Spanish Florida at this time. The shape of this territory, however, is very recognizable. Okay, now let's examine another map. You can look at this map more closely in the book, The Louisiana Purchase, Would You Close the Deal, on page 44. This map shows the borders of the individual states of the United States as we know them today. The green shaded area shows the Louisiana Territory that was purchased in 1803. Take a closer look at the land in the United States purchased in 1803. Could you imagine having to explore all of this territory from the Gulf of Mexico to Canada? Automobiles were not invented until much later in the century. Also, airplanes were invented after that. That's a lot of land to cover on foot. Let's practice. What do you notice about this map? Pause the video and jot down your ideas on your handout at the second stop sign. When you are finished, press play to continue the video. Let's review. You may have noticed that the Louisiana Territory was later broken into parts of 15 different states. When we study the Louisiana Purchase, you will learn how the Louisiana Territory, in green on this current map, became a big part of the United States. You may have also noticed that Louisiana, as we know it today, includes more territory bordering the Gulf of Mexico than the original Louisiana Territory did. The toe of the boot, or north of Lake Pontchartrain, was not part of the Louisiana Purchase. Let's look at the two maps side by side. We're going to ask ourselves, what's the same about the two maps? What's different? When we ask ourselves these questions, we are comparing the maps. As you compare the maps, take notes using the Venn diagram on your handout at stop sign number 3. Write down your ideas about what is the same in the middle where the two circles cross. Write down the ideas about things that are different about each map in the outer part of the circle under that map. Pause the video while you do this work. When you are finished, press play to continue. Let's review what you should have written on your handout. Let's start with similarities. Both maps show the Louisiana Territory. It is shown in yellow on map 1 and green on map 2. However, Map 1 shows the size of Louisiana Territory in other states and territories in the 1800s. Map 2 shows how big the Louisiana Territory was in 1803 and the states that now fall within that area. Let's see how the state of Louisiana evolved into the state we know of today. When the Louisiana Territory was purchased, the United States just about doubled in size. This vast amount of land was segmented into several different states throughout the years. This map shows us what Louisiana looks like today. Louisiana definitely shrunk in size since its purchase. Let's practice. What changes did the United States go through after purchasing the Louisiana Territory? Pause the video and answer the question on your handout at stop sign number 4. Then press play to continue. Let's review. You may have noted that the Louisiana Purchase just about doubled in size of the United States. Also, you may have jotted down that the size of Louisiana today is much smaller than the original purchase of the territory. Even though the Louisiana Territory doubled the United States in size, that was actually not why the land was so valuable. In fact, the vast amount of land was actually a concern to the president, Thomas Jefferson. When you purchase property, you also have to protect it, or else other nations may try to come take it over. Also, there was really no way of knowing who was already settled on this part of North America and what challenges that would bring. A major benefit to the Louisiana Purchase, however, was access to the Mississippi River that travels from the north of what we now know as the United States, all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. Since automobiles and airplanes were not yet around, the river gave the colonists more effective means of travel. Trading and hauling goods also became a lot easier with access to the river. The hidden jewel of this river, though, is the Port of New Orleans. This port gave the colonists access to the Gulf of Mexico, which led to the Atlantic Ocean. This made receiving shipments and delivering goods to more parts of the country by boat a lot more convenient. Let's take a closer look at modern-day Louisiana. This is a closer look at the Port of New Orleans, or as we know it, the City of New Orleans. The bayous, swamps, and marshland here helped establish a successful and profitable port, as well as protected the port from invasion. Unless you were familiar with the landscape, there were many unexpected surprises and unwanted guests may encounter, like alligators, land that looks like you can't walk on, but you can't, and many other unique characteristics. Baton Rouge is located northwest of New Orleans. If you were driving today from Baton Rouge to New Orleans, it would take you just about 2 hours. Just imagine how much longer it would take walking. Now it's your turn to practice. Why is the location of New Orleans and Baton Rouge important to Louisiana? Pause the video and answer the question on your handout at stop sign number 5. Then press play to continue. Let's review. Our state capital, Baton Rouge, is here. New Orleans, our biggest city, is here. Notice that both cities sit very closely to the Mississippi River. The location of these cities is important to Louisiana because they both can access the Mississippi River. Knowing the size of Louisiana Territory as compared to modern-day Louisiana is important for understanding why the territory was valuable to the United States in the 1800s. When you start the unit on the Louisiana Purchase, be on the lookout for other reasons why the Louisiana Territory was so valuable. When you finish this video, be sure to turn in your completed handout to your teacher.